If you told me I could pick one knife to go out into the field and survive, it would not be a Mora. Hey everybody, it's Matt with Bluetail Survival. Welcome back. Troy's on the camera today. What I'm going to do, this is going to be one of my last videos for a while. I am getting ready to go overseas, so this is going to be my last one for a minute. I'm going to continue while I'm over there. It's going to be a lot different. Before I leave, I wanted to get this video done. A while back, we kind of forgot about it, but I kind of got in a little verbal judo with Desert Trekker. You can check him out. I actually subscribe to him because I do like his videos. But what he's got going on right now is he's got a Can It Beat My Mora kind of little playlist thing going on. And what he does is he takes a Mora 511. I think he's actually using more of his Moras now, and he's pitting it against like some really top end knives. And my comment to his video on can an SK5 Blackbird from Ontario beat my Mora 511? And he basically said the Mora 511 is better than an Ontario SK5 Blackbird. And I didn't even have a Blackbird at the time. It's not like I'm loyal to Ontario or anything. But I thought it was a very generic test. I told him, I was like, yeah, man, you gotta love Moras, but I kind of feel like you compared what an SK5 can do compared to a 511 instead of showing the capabilities of the SK5 and what 511 can't do, if that makes any sense. So basically the test was really generic. It's basically the type of review I would do to show you that a knife does what a knife does. Okay, it can cut, it can baton, this, that, and the other. So he kind of commanded me to show him what an SK5 can do that a Mora couldn't, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't like being told what to do. So I said, I'm going to put an edge on a Butterknife, and I'm going to show you how generic your test was, and I'm going to pit it against your 511. So Troy dug into his kitchen junk drawer, and he hooked it up, and it's a really robust Butterknife, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet. I put it on the work sharp. I didn't get it nearly sharp as I'm sure I could. I think it'll work just fine. And we are gonna pit it up against a Mora 511. We bought this knife. How long ago did you buy this knife?
Like 3 months.
This is how much we really. Moras are great. I think they're awesome. I would never put my life on the line against one. But yeah, we've had this knife for however long Troy just said and have never even opened it. So just so you know that this isn't a tainted Mora. This is the Mora 511. Awesome knives, okay? Really cool knives. Scandinavian grind, great steel, partial tang. There's a destruction video on this thing, and it's amazing what it takes to destroy one of these. The argument was never about how good or bad a Mora is, but when you put this thing, okay, when you put this thing up against $150 knife and tell me that this is better, it kind of drives me bonkers. If I was going on alone, naked and afraid, running wild with Bear Grylls, guest appearance on Dual Survival, I promise you this would not be the knife that I would take. I would never take this knife. I will never go hiking and this be my primary knife. That's just me. It's too small. It's just way too small. Basically what it looks like to me is a sharpened butter knife. All right. But what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna do a baton test with the Butterknife and the 511, a feather sticking test, chopping test, and a tip test. I tried to put at least a little bit of sharpness here, so we're probably gonna have to hammer this into something. Little bit of word about this type of knife. It's irrelevant to me how well this knife chops, okay? Because there's nothing I need off of a tree that this knife is gonna give me, okay? Seriously, it would take me probably 5 minutes to hack through this, and what the hell do I need that for? You know what I'm saying? I probably have a better chance of just breaking it. Batoning, I'm not a huge fan of batoning. I like knowing that my knife can baton, but batoning isn't a deal breaker with me. I have the SK5 Blackbird now, and that's a very hard steel, and I'll probably never baton with it because I know they're prone to chipping because it is such a hard steel. So I would couple that with a tomahawk or a hatchet or folding saw or something of that nature. Bottom line, three of these tests are irrelevant to me. I'm going to do it anyway because I said I would. But another thing is the tip test. I can't think of any reason why I would need to stab a piece of wood and pry it open. I can't think of anything ever since I've been going camping why I would need to do that. But those 3 tests we are going to do just to make everybody happy. Feather sticking, cutting 550 cord, cutting steak, carving notches. That's what this size knife would be for me. I would never baton with this. I would never chop with it. But since he's, comparing this thing to the world, we're gonna show how generic of a test that is against this butter knife that who knows how much it cost because it came out of Troy's drawer. So, sorry for the rambling, but stay with us and we're gonna get into that. All right, so the first test we're gonna do is we're gonna do the baton test. I have 2 pieces of semi-seasoned poplar. I made a little attempt at an atlatl here. It actually ended up working. Irrelevant, but I'll give this one to the Mora so there's no confusion about me cheating and whatnot. So we're just gonna do a basic thing. I don't baton very often, so I'm not anticipating getting a clean cut through this, but just to kind of show, if I'm all the way in, that's how much tip I have left. So this can probably do you remember how long this blade is? No? Okay, so this can probably do 2.5 inches before you get to like really get on the tip. So we'll give this a shot. Like I said, this is poplar, mountain mahogany baton. No problem. That's even through a pretty gnarly knot down there. No issues with the blade. Pretty solid. And like I said, I think these are 3/4 tang. And I want to say they actually even rat tail. So it's not even even if it all extended all the way, it wouldn't be a true full tang. It'd be like a K-bar, so it's kind of like a rat tail. I don't know what this stuff is, but I watched the destruction test of this. They did some crazy stuff before this knife finally broke, so we'll do one more here. Pretty legit. Good job, Mora. Alright, so a knife can baton like a knife should baton. Now we'll hit up the butter knife. Like I said, I put this on the work sharp. It's not razor sharp by any means, but hopefully it gets the job done here. I feel really, really dumb if I didn't. Alright. So, at some point I saw that. I think this was one of the cross pieces for the hammock I set up a while back, so it's full of knots, so that sucks, but I'll start on this end. Alright, that's user error. Just so you know, I ran out of blade there, so I'm going to pull that back. Fatty knot. Cool. One more time on that. Another knot. So no real damage to that, and none whatsoever to that. So both knives can baton a roughly 1.5 inch, maybe 2 inch piece of wood. All right, so now we're gonna test the both the knives on doing feather sticks. So this isn't a cop out. This is real world. Just so you know, I'm really big into like tinder bundles for ferrocerium rods and char cloth and flint and steel and stuff like that. I don't really do feather sticks with the intention of trying to spark them with a ferrocerium rod. I've tried it a couple times and I've never been able to do it. I know people can get really tight curls. So basically what I'm telling you right now is I'm not guaranteeing you at all that I'm good at feather sticking. My feather sticks, basically all I'm doing is just trying to create a whole bunch of different surfaces. I'm not really good at getting them to roll over on themselves and get them super paper thin. So realistically, this isn't that sharp, so I know I won't be able to do it with that. Hopefully I'm able to do it with this, but like I said, I don't do that very often. So I just took 2 of the pieces of the wood. I was looking for angles. I hope that's fair, random. We'll start with the Mora and try to find the best, like, straightest surface, because we'll go right here, I guess. All right. When I see people do this, I'm gonna do this backwards just so I don't do it. I see a lot of people do it this way, where they actually like push the knife to hit more spots on the blade, and then I see people just push it straight down. So I guess for this test, I'm gonna do it like this and actually push the knife towards the wood. So we'll give her a go here. So we'll kind of use that as one example. So you can see these are really big. I've never been able to get something that big lit with a ferro rod. I will, seeing as how I'm here, I'll try to do it and try to get them really thin, but yeah, I'm really not good at it. But for me, that's a perfect feather stick. So what I'll do is I'll blow a tinder bundle, I'll get that lit, and then I'll drop something like this right on top of that fire. And now, personally, I think it's better because now I've got some bigger pieces of wood. These are gonna burn for a little bit. I get some smaller kindling on there. That works for me. So to me, those are perfect feather sticks. I don't know what you guys think, but so now we'll give a shot with the butter knife. All right, so there's one. I'm not gonna lie, those first couple ones I did, I think are textbook. But like I said, these big ones in the back, that's what I'm about. So I'll try to do the small ones now. Yeah, so I'm not really good at feather sticking, but those are actually pretty small. So both of them, they can feather stick like knives are supposed to feather stick. Next test we're gonna do on both these knives is a chop test. Before we get into that, either one of these, I don't see a purpose of chopping whatsoever. All right, I don't get it. I think chopping is reserved for like 6 inches, bigger, thick knives. And to be honest with you, if you're going to carry that big of a knife, why not just carry a smaller knife and carry a hatchet? Beside the point, we are going to do a chop test because Desert Trekker did the chop test. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to do one piece of wood here. I'm gonna do 10 strokes on each, and I'm gonna go kind of like right side, left side, left side, trying to get a wedge. I don't chop. If this totally fucks up and looks like really, really unfair, I'll do it again. So no big deal to me. Probably get it like probably right there, huh? So actually, I'm gonna hit my damn table. That's gonna piss me off. All right, is that fair, everybody? Fair? All right, so we're gonna go 10. So 5 right, 5 left. Were you counting?
We can go to the video.
Let's stop and go to the. Okay, so sorry about that. That was 8 for those of you that were counting. So I'm gonna go 1 more right, 1 more left. All right, that'll do. I'll get as close to this groove as I can. Basically, what I would expect out of a knife this size. So, whatever, no big deal. We'll move on to the Battle Butter. Okay. So what we got out of that is both knives suck at chopping. So don't chop with tiny little knives. Oh, we got a problem here. This is a gear fail right here. I don't know who tied this jute handle to this thing, but whoever did a horrible freaking job. Okay. 2 more tests to go. I did just kind of make one up in my head that I kind of want to try, so we're going to do that. Right now, we're going to do the tip test. Again, somebody please tell me what the point of this is, because I really don't know. I don't know so much that I don't even know how to do this test. Like, how hard do I hit it? You know, basically, this might not even work because this is not sharp at all. So we're going to try to hammer it in like we did with the Battle Cleaver. But I just don't get it. I don't understand the purpose of this. Like, there's a grub worm right here, and I got to get to him. So that's what we're going to go with here. I don't know. It's kind of not going to be fair because we're hammering this one in. Well, then, should we just hammer this one in? Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll do 3 medium strokes. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Stop it. Really? 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Okay. So just to give you an idea of what we did by doing a tip test, explain to me how that helps me in the woods. Like, what does that really do for me?
I can focus on it a little bit.
Nothing. That doesn't help me at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Anyways, we'll move on to this bad boy. I kind of get a feeling I'm going to have to hammer a little harder on this one. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Just in case you think I'm cheating. 4, 5. All right. Might have fucked.
You're gonna bend that knife, yeah? Don't.
What are you doing? Okay. All right, so we kind of got a little silly. We actually thought we were going to bend this pretty bad doing that. I'm going to show you again. Where did I even do the... Oh, right here. So this was the Mora for your tip test. Right at the tip of my fingers. And this was the Butterknife. So, if I needed to get to the inside of this wood for some reason, the Butterknife obviously did a better job at that, and everything was fine. So last test we're gonna do, we'll get to that in 1 second. Desert Trekker didn't do this, I don't believe. I mean, he might have on some, but basically, this is what I need this knife to do. This is what I need a knife that is this size to do. Okay, I'm getting ready to make some steaks for my tarp. All right, I need this knife to cut some jute, 550 cord, whatever, what have you. All right, so we know that knife can do this. Now I want to make a steak, so I'm gonna just cut a number 7 notch here. This is pretty well seasoned poplar. I didn't think poplar was very hard, but it's kind of proving to be right now. All right, number 7 notch. And basically what that's for is just to tie down a tarp. Kind of want to see if the butter knife can do that. So we'll do a top and bottom. Okay, so really, the butter knife did do a horrible job at that. That was pretty pathetic. I mean, I could put a little bit more effort into it and would do it. Another thing I need a knife for is to cut me some string. No problem. No problem. No problem. So in closing here, we're going to cover everything that we just did. The baton test. In my opinion, dead even as far as what you saw. The butter knife did have to go through some pretty serious knots. They were pretty solid. But I'll give it dead even on the batoning. For the chopping, it's kind of hard to see because, like, one side, looking at one side, it looks like the Mora did better. Looking at the other side, it looks like the butter knife did better. I'll call it even, realistically. Those are 2 tests that I wouldn't do in the field. The feather sticking, in my opinion, because of the way I do feather sticks, the Mora feather sticks a lot better. If I needed to, if all I had was this piece of wood to start a fire and I needed to strike it with a ferrocerium rod, obviously I'm going to have an easier time doing that with this because the curls are better. So I don't know. You guys can rate that one. I'm kind of no opinion on that because one knife does it the way I would do it. The other knife does it probably a bit more efficiently, but it is what it is. Basically, they're kind of even, in my opinion. I think what the point I'm trying to get across is you want to compare a $10 knife to a $100 knife. Well, I just compared a $10 knife to a 10-cent knife. So if I was Desert Trekker, I guess I could just kind of throw this knife away and go buy a hatchet, head out into the woods, and I'd be good to go, right? No, it's not the case. If I'm going to go try to do a weekend trip, am I going to bring this with me? Hell no. No, I'm not. If these are the 2 choices, I'm going to bring the better knife, all right? Realistically, this is the better knife. You didn't see that in this test because this is a generic test. This test should be completely eliminated on YouTube when comparing 2 knives, okay? This test is just to basically show you that a knife can do what a knife can do. Perfect example, survival on purpose. Basically what we just did, this is how he does his YouTube videos. He's not showing you one knife being better than another. He's just showing you that this knife can or cannot do these basic tasks. All right. So the bottom line: don't compare a $10 knife to a $100 knife. All right, because I just compared a $10 knife to a 10-cent knife, and somebody can argue that the butter knife outperformed them more.